Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Baer Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can just say hi or use other people's emotes or be a lurker because lurking is okay. Unjan is here. Welcome, Unjan, to a Thursday night stream. Tonight's goal to finish choose Demi trainer. That's right. We got choose Demi trainer right here. We finished the top half of the kit. We finished the feet as well. Hey, Lashbrook, welcome. The feet are done. The legs should be pretty easy put together. There's just one weapon. The backpack is small and easy to assemble. Or the backpack's done and pretty much as is. So this will not be, I would not describe this as a difficult kit to finish. Oh yeah, there is a backpack, but it's a pretty easy assembly. So I think we'll finish this by tonight. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we won't. I said I would finish it, but maybe we won't. I do have the next kit that I'll be building. That's ready to go. We got a Rick Diaz to put together. Or Rick Diaz, however you want to say it. I like saying Rick Diaz. But I got a Rick Diaz Quattros Rick Diaz, and that's on deck, and that's going to be a pretty cool kit to put together. I imagine tonight might be chill. It just might be. That's just my vibe for tonight. My vibe for tonight is like, oh, this could be a low attendance. It's the last stream of the month. People have already heard me play that song so much, the month theme, so they don't need their channel points for that. They'll be coming on Saturday for the start of the month. They'll be like, Pat, you're streaming on April 1st. What will happen? What sort of jokes and jipes do you have for us on April Fool's Day? Will we be made the fool? And my answer to that is not by me. Mr. Bob says, hey, Pat. Hey to you, Mr. Bob. Happy to have you here. Yeah, you will not be made the fool by your friend Pat Baer because I don't do April Fools. I'm so glad it's on a Saturday, especially with like indictments being put out, like E3's are April Fools. Yes, E3 already got out of there. They're just like, no, we don't even want to. We don't even want to be time stamped as April 1st in like Japan. We're putting this news out today. Joshi wrestlers are in Japan, are in Los Angeles right now. All kinds of different Joshi are in there. They're eating at In-N-Out and Five Guys, and they're taking photos of the food they're eating. It's a beautiful time. It's a lovely time in the world. Wrestling is happening. I watched a little bit of the Santino Brothers show today. Basically just enough for, I watched one match. I watched the opening contest that had a Kid Bandit in it because that's fun. But I got a lot of wrestling I'm going to be watching tonight. I'm going to watch the DDT show tonight. Could be some Joshi from Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling make an appearance. You never know. I have not looked at the card, so I don't know. But yeah, tonight will kick off my WrestleMania week in that I will be watching some WrestleMania, some wrestling. I have written down here, a bunch of wrestling stuff. I don't have a lot of news about Twitter because we often start. Actually, speaking of Twitter, I'm going to retweet my tweet. See, we'll get a few more friends to join us tonight, and then also I will go to the overhead. I will start working on the legs here because we got to get the legs we do at the same time so we can build them both at the same time, which is very convenient for us. We'll go to that. Boop. There we go. As I work on this, I will let you know. Lashbrook says, I ended up buying Supercard of Honor, so it'll be my only wrestling this weekend. Lashbrook, I hope you enjoy it. I don't know if I'll be watching some of Supercard of Honor. I am frustrated by the fact that it's apparently going to be a very long show, and I don't really want to watch that very long. I don't want to watch a super long Ring of Honor show. That's just me. I will most likely watch the main event later because it's my boy Eddie. And I don't like that I don't get to see my boy Eddie. So that'll probably be an after. Hey, Lord Crashington, welcome. Okay, so here is The Wrap had an article that came out today that said, Twitter ad revenue plunges 89% since Musk takeover as major brands stay away. Top media buyers remain reluctant to recommend returning to the social media platform amid the owner's erratic behavior. So that's your Twitter update for the day. as we inch ever closer to checkmarks going away, the thing that that is supposed to bring in revenue. Also, major newspapers across the country are saying no, we are not going to be paying for checkmarks. We're not going to be paying for our employees to have checkmarks. So no. At the same time, yeah, money is down. It's so weird. It's so weird. Lurker says, I see ads for all of the best brands in the comments of many tweets, which is where I most want to see ads and awful replies. But yes, yeah, you're not seeing good stuff. If you block most major brands, eventually, and minor brands even, eventually, all you see is promoted tweets from weirdos who are promoting. Sometimes I appreciate when people promote other people's tweets, and you're like, what? Why? Why are you promoting this? Who are you? Who is this person? What's going on here? Mr. Rob says official Twitter is still not on my phone. Yep. It's a whole fucking thing. It's just a whole thing. It's whatever. It's a bummer because it was a useful tool at some point to some people, myself included. There was a time where it was pretty useful to have. That's your Twitter update. Nothing really major there. Let's get into the news of the day that is not about a former president. That news is out there. He was indicted. They did it on a Thursday. Great. The number of counts seems to be in the 30s, is what we've been heard. Yeah, at least nothing interesting happened today, Solar Question. Indeed. It sounds like the indictments might be as high as 30-something, which is pretty great. That's all. We don't know. We don't know. The other thing. IGN had the report here based on some reporting they did, which also included people that got an email from the ESA today, and then people were like, hey, including IGN. IGN's first would run this saying, E3 has been canceled. The show, quote unquote, did not garner the sustained interest necessary. In a article that busted the site for a minute, it got overloaded with people wanting to read the article. But sources had confirmed to IGN, and then a statement was made. There is I'll read you Jeff Gerstmann, noted games man, Jeff Gerstmann, basically shared this statement. I need B22. Wait, there it is. This is B20. No, that's C6. There's B22. See that? Okay. So we get A33, A26. Okay. I'm figuring out how to put these legs together. Sorry. Yes, energy drink influencer. Indeed. Yes, he does go to gaming events on occasion. Basically, people that signed up to be attendees for various ways got an email saying, thank you for applying to attend E3 2023. We are writing to let you know that E3 2023 will not be taking place as scheduled. The ESA and ReedPop, ESA hired ReedPop to run E3 this year. Recognize you may have made plans around the event. Thank you for your support and apologize for any inconvenience. Please keep an eye on e3expo.com for further updates to E3 from the E3 registration team. And then some people got some quotes and some such. And then IGN reported it. ESA put out a public statement from the global VP of gaming for ReedPop, Kyle Marsden Kish, I should say. People had flights is my dumb first take. I mean, Mr. Bob, people probably had personal flights, yeah, or business flights. There were people who were going to E3. There are people who can't take the chance that E3 does happen and they're not there for their work. for their livelihood. Like, it more people had to work E3 than got to watch E3 as a bystander. So yeah, there were people that got plane tickets, that got hotel rooms, that were planning to be there, that whose lives got disrupted by the fact that it took till almost April for them to cancel. Yeah, shit's fucked. Time for E4. Yes. This statement says this was a difficult decision. I'm sure it was because the money's fucking involved. They had to book a convention center. Because of all the effort we and our partners put towards making the event happen, but we had to do what was right for the industry and what's right for E3, which is great. It's a great bit of copy there. So it's good copy. It's good, bad copy. We appreciate and understand your interest. Interested companies won't have playable demos ready, and that resource challenges may be made being at E3 this summer an obstacle they couldn't overcome. Basically, just saying like, hey, we were hearing for some people, we do not think we can do this. We do not think this is going to work out for us this year, and they were hearing that from too many people. It just seems like too many people were like, no. For those who did commit to E3 2023, we're sorry we can't put on the showcase you deserve, that you've come to expect from Repop event experiences. Now, should say, friend of the stream Guy, Yug, aka Yug, isn't his name Yug because it's got backwards, who was at Repop, left Repop. He had worked on PAX shenanigans for a number of years, left that, then came back specifically to work on E3. Put out a statement before the ESA statement. Yug did tweet out, "I'm sorry, we did try," which is true. Yeah. This was the point where all the companies had finalized details, so they had to put their hand forced to announce what everyone knew was happening. Yes, because at a certain point, companies have to be like, they have to stop hedging their bets, right? And then also, when you have someone like Ubisoft who goes to fucking everything, being like, well, we're gonna do something, but not that. Then it's like, oh no, okay, well, fuck, okay, well, fuck. I guess we gotta just fucking not do this because shit. The press release adds that Repop and ESA will continue to work together on future E3 events, which, sure. I mean, contracts say you probably have to at least make some promises that you'll be doing some work in the future, but I mean, yeah. Summer Game Fest is still going to happen. There will still be, people on camera doing things. There will still be big press conferences, but it will be a smaller, weirder, disassociated event. It will be more likely that there will be overlapping things that people will feel annoyed about because there is not a central body saying, hey, could you do this an hour later? Because you're fucking us if you do it right now. You'll not have that. It will be a bit more freeform. Yeah, so not happening. Gonna be rough. But yeah, I mean, it's just gonna be. There's still gonna be Summer Game Fest stuff and things around Summer Game Fest, but it won't be the Electronic 3. And that's weird. So then people were posting like E3 memories. I of course posted a link to Lockdown, the song that played on loop during Giant Bomb's coverage of before streams got officially started. The official theme of Giant Bomb's coverage of E3. The unofficial theme of E3, of course. Because indeed, Lockdown, the unofficial theme of E3, was also part of the reason why it finally died. Because the pandemic definitely furthered things. Lockdown is the theme for life in general. Indeed. Certainly. I posted a link on Twitter of the Lockdown music that someone uploaded, and then there's like one of the first comments is a link from one of the people that wrote the song, like to like their page where you can buy the song and other songs from their album. And then most of the other comments for this video, which is just the audio, most of the other comments are just people being like, because someone must have posted Lockdown of the Nextlander crew of just, it's just like years and years ago, people like eulogizing Ryan Davis, fair, welcome, and then also people being like, it's been great, Alex and Brad and Vinny. Good luck on the next thing. And it's just people like leaving comments, and then like one or two comments going like, I wonder if when these guys learned who Giant Bomb was. Which it's fun. Yes, indeed. It's a lot of nonsense. I will say this. I was very stubborn about the McElroy brothers because I was not a joystick guy, right? Was not a joystick guy. But there were a couple people who really pushed me to be like, hey, Pat, you got to listen to My Brother and Me. You'll really like My Brother and Me. I listened to it and I do like it. But the people that put it out there, I didn't necessarily trust their comedy sensibilities. I wasn't like super, like, I wasn't like really like down for, like, I didn't trust them and what they were, their recommendations. So, but eventually Justin was on a Giant Bomb thing, and it was just like, oh, this dude's fucking funny. All right, I'll give their podcast a try. Oh, wait, I really like it. Shit, I could have been listening to it for a while. Yes, the West Virginia stories were great, like, so good. And then, of course, by the time we get to Polygon, I'm already invested. But yeah, I didn't listen to the Joystick podcast. I didn't know that these guys were funny. I knew of Jordan Morris, who has a podcast on the Maximum Fun Network, because The Sound of Young America, which is now Bullseye, had a whole thing with the Penny Arcade guys, and I was kind of aware of what was going on with that. And then Jordan was a frequent guest on the Nerdist video game podcast that they had, Indoor Kids, which, and I listen to because I like stuff about video games, but also I like Kumail and Emily, so I was like, oh, I'll listen to that. And then eventually, yeah, I was just like, oh, I guess I'll get into that. So E3 definitely got me into the McElroy brothers, which is very, very cool to be able to have that. And then, yeah, just like got to know Harris because of his later appearances there, and a bunch of other cool people that came through there. And then we definitely booked some League of Heels based on the fact that some, like, if you, look, I'll say this. If you were ever on the E3 couch, you probably got asked to be in League of Heels if you were at PAX. Like, if you were at PAX and also had been in the E3 couch, then at the very least, somebody in our crew could be like, well, Alex likes them enough to book them. And you could even just, like, watch and see if they, like, were funny or not. Or fun, or, like, seemed weird. Or if they seemed, like, utterly confused and not having a good time on the Giant Bomb E3 couch. I don't know if they're going to like our nonsense, It was a fairly good indication of people's vibes. So that was helpful in production of our nonsense. And also just entertaining. I mean, hell, I don't cancel or postpone or do early stuff for my streams for very, very little. Very little. But if it was the Thursday, it was the last night of E3, and the last night of the couch, and we were getting Lang and, Lang and Adam and Johnny, then I'll do something different. Like, I definitely did my streams early for that. Specifically because I was like, well, I don't want to miss any of that. I really like those things. So that was one of the only times I've ever done streams early, is because I really wanted to watch those live and not watch it later after the fact. That means they probably knew Dave Lang, Drake, or Alex have connections to League of Heels. Yes. There are plenty of look. A lot of early people in League of Heels, right? A lot of early people in League of Heels came in because they knew Aaron or Alex. Aaron Trites and Alex Navarro booked a lot of the original shows. And Pope made recommendations. They knew a lot of people in the industry, right? And then eventually, I started. Aaron did a lot of booking, and I started making suggestions and helping with booking because I had been, I've been around for a bit. But I was booking like people that were at E3, but like not E3, that were at PAX, but maybe not as well known as other people. Why am I? This is not. Oh, okay. Oh, I got to pull this back, and then this should snap in. I've heard these legs are a little weird. Getting these legs connected is a little strange, so I don't want to force it, but this is weird. Yeah. Okay. Why is this not right? Sorry, everybody. Okay, you got to pull it back. Pull it back, and then this locks in like that. But that doesn't seem to line up right. That looks right, but then the rest of this doesn't look right. And I have to be like, what did I do wrong here? Sorry. This is one of those things where I'm like, I'll figure it out eventually here. Okay, so that's going to go like that. Okay, so I think it actually has to go like this. Oh. This looks like this has to. Okay, so this has to go like that, and then that goes in. All right, so this is how that has to look, and then like that, and look. Does that look right? Huh. This is obviously very entertaining. Oh, okay. So if I do it like, how's that look right? All right, I got it. I don't know exactly how this works, but I got it. So yeah, early League of Heels stuff was because of people that people knew and made recommendations for, and then eventually I started helping a lot with the booking, and I started bringing people I knew, but then I would also lean on information, and recommendations from other people and all that. Okay, I have now figured out how this is supposed to work, and I think I'll do a better job with it this time. So this has to go in like that. I'm just going to do this leg now. This goes in like that, and that's how that's going to look. And then this goes in like that. Yeah. And you lean that back. I can't wait to do another one of these trainers at some point in the future and fuck this up again completely and completely forget how to do it and just be like, well, I did it right before. What the fuck's going on this time? How am I doing it wrong now? How to fuck this up? But that's not right. So this isn't right. Why isn't this right? It goes like that. And this goes, okay. All right. Yes, there was always people, and we could always bring in new people. And then once we started doing it for a while, then you start getting people who reach out. And some of the people who reach out is just like, I don't know who this is. Nobody I know knows who this is. No, that's okay. And then sometimes people reach out, and you're like, holy shit, yeah, 100%. Oh, I didn't even know you were in town. And then also I can be like, hey, we're doing this thing. You know these people. Are you going to be at PAX? No, you'll be at West. Okay, well, let's book you for West then. I'll be chatting with you later or whatever. Or, oh, you're not available on Sunday? Yeah, we do Sunday at 10 a.m. Yeah, I know, but that's the only time we can get for this many people. Okay, we'll get you next time or whatever. And it became way easier to book folks. But for a little while there, it was, sometimes it was touch and go. All right, so I got to bend this back. And then this has to... Yeah, this does feel bad, putting this thing together. I'll say that. And then you're like, am I doing this wrong? It's supposed to be like that. That doesn't feel right. That doesn't look right either. No, that's not right. This looks correct. I know this is right, and I don't want to take it apart because it's right. But I need to make the other leg fit with this. I heard the legs were weird, so yes. Then Submit would have to yes, and then somebody would just like bail the night before or the day of, or just never talk to us. There was like a guy. There was a huge YouTuber. Comparatively, I don't know who he was, but I was told that he had a lot of people coming, and there were people that were at the event for him, and he just never showed up. And the person that had contacted him was just like, "Yeah, I don't know. I texted him," and then I would just have to be like, "Hey, Submit, are you available?" Because we'll never do it because Submit stopped going to PAX when Polygon stopped sending him. And then also, he was doing it with his own money, but then eventually he had to stop doing it with his own money. I got the leg fixed finally. He had to stop doing it with his own money because he was getting married and needed to save up for that, which is fucking, of course, dude. You definitely 100% should be saving up for your wedding and not coming to PAX East. So I will tell you the plan we had with Submit that I pitched to him that we never got a chance to do because often he would just come. And we would ask him to do it, and he would say yes. So, there was going to be a bit. We would advertise him as being that he was going to be in it. We're going to do this big event. He was going to be in it, and then the day of the show during the opening, we would say, I would set up the bit. The bit would be set up. Hey, just so you know. Submit, who Sarkar, who always does, from Polygon. This guy's great, right? Like we've had him in before, and then for a while there, we wanted to rotate some new people in. We couldn't use him, and then for whatever reason, we needed him to fill in. He's always been good about coming in at the last minute. We're so happy that we were able to book him. We've been advertising him this whole time, and then just be like, what? He's not? Shit. So apparently, Submit couldn't make it. That's rough. All right, well. We do need a substitute. Hey, Submit. Could you fill in? We need a spot in this filled in. Is that okay? And then from the crowd, he would go, yeah, all right. And then he would come up and fill in. And then we would act like we were so happy to have him fill in. And then probably someone would say, somebody else would probably, actually put a fine point on the bit and be like, so he's filling in for himself? And then the deadpanness of myself or someone else would, of course, we're so happy that we're able to have you fill in for Submit. Submit couldn't be here, so Submit, we're so happy to have you here. Is it a good bit? Not really. Is it a bit that I really wanted to fucking do? 100%. Because it is in theme with us being nonsense. Like the fact that the wolf Alex Navarro, when he took off his mask, immediately every announcer had the same joke in mind when I said, oh my god, Alex the Wolf Navarro has been Alex Navarro this whole time. Everybody immediately got on board with the idea that they were also shocked that it had been Alex this whole time, as if we didn't know that Alex the Wolf Navarro was Alex Navarro. That's nonsense. It doesn't make any sense at all. It shouldn't work as a joke. It's barely a joke. But everyone agreed immediately, because that's the funniest option, is the idea that we are fucking surprised with this sudden revelation of who the mystery masked man was this whole time. It's hilarious and bad and silly, and that's the best part, is when everyone agrees to the nonsense. It always works the best. That's just always been my thoughts on that. Speaking of wrestling, we could talk a little bit of the wrestling here. AEW All Access happened last night. It is a reality show that airs after Dynamite, which is their weekly wrestling show. If you are not familiar with the what it's going to be, it is a reality show. It's It's just Total Divas or Total Bellas. Um, it's backstage stuff, but it's all scripted, performed by improvised moments. It is real in the sense that there's like conversations about things that really happened and information about wrestlers being presented as factual information that seems to be actually factual. But it's also a bunch of fucking bullshit because it's still wrestlers talking a bunch of nonsense. And it is a third reality. It is not the real actual world. And it is not exactly the storylines presented in wrestling as if those storylines are real. It is in between, aka the third reality, in that it is behind the scenes, but scripted. Fun. And it's fine. My big takeaway of it is that it is a fine enough program. I will probably watch it. It is inoffensive. It is fun. Like, even though it is scripted, it is still fun to be like, because they'll have like a move happen in the ring, and then they will cut to random ass wrestlers going like, oof, ah, nice. Like, sure, that's fun. I enjoy that. Like, okay. And then there's just like, they didn't like us, and we were surprised they didn't like us. And it's just like, yeah. That's the narrative you want to present, is that you were surprised, you were shocked that they didn't like you. Sure. It's a lot of that kind of narrative thing where, like, it's like the Nick and Matt Jackson being like, we honestly didn't think, there was a little while there in those 8 weeks where we didn't think we were coming back. And it's like, fuck, what are you fucking talking about? Of course you were always going to be coming back. It's your company. I kind of noped out the intro talking about the Revolution, how AEW changed wrestling. Also, I want to watch The Mandalorian. Yeah, I mean, look, it's bullshit. A lot of it's bullshit. It's apparently this is Tony Khan's baby, and he's a visionary. Also, they're like, the thing is, like, it's not meant for wrestling fans. And you say, well, Pat, it's wrestling content. Why the fuck would they make a reality show that's not meant for wrestling fans? And the answer to that is because a lot of people watch TBS and TNT who aren't wrestling fans. And you can make wrestling fans, and you should be making new wrestling fans. Now, this is different because it was on E and not on, the WWE network, eventually. It was, but Total Divas, the E show about, wrestlers, was huge. It was categorically unbelievably big and did very well, because it people wanted to know more about wrestlers and wrestling. It like did very well because like the audience was hungry for these ladies and the drama and all that. And is it some of it manufactured drama? Of course it is. I don't believe for a second anything that Tay Conti says or Tay Mello says about like her problem, her and like, I'm not Heidi, but Ruby have issues. And I'm like, no, they don't fucking have issues. They made that shit up for TV. It's fine. Reality shows have never manufactured drama. Yes, look, question. So, Lashbrook, Turner is pushing it because it's fucking cheap, and they're chasing Total Divas money. They're chasing the ratings that the competitor had with their reality show about the backstage stuff. Of course, they also manufactured a lot of it, and it was also like, like people playing versions of themselves and all that. But they're chasing like the money from people who might be converted to wrestling fans. You mean AEW general? Oh, well, yeah, wrestling is fucking cheap. Like, people are like, oh, look at the ratings. The ratings are so low. Oh, can you believe how low? It's like, they got fucking TV ratings. What do you want? They're like, oh, man, they didn't do great on blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't know. This bullshit show that cost no money and made just as much as things that were 4 or 5 times expensive. Like, how is it getting blown out of the water by Vanderpump Rules? It's like, well, 1, that's the most popular show on television. And 2, they just had a lot of real life drama beyond the show, make the show even more popular. So it's a whole thing. I mean, it's good for AEW because it puts eyes, other people's eyes on it. And yeah, I mean, Turner loves fucking cheap ass television. God, the production costs of AEW are ridiculously low compared to other things, and it's weekly. It doesn't stop. It keeps making them money. So nice. And they don't have to pay rerun royalties. They don't have to, because they don't air them again. They just exist, and then they're in the ether. They're gone. Then they're just clips on YouTube. It's such a win for people looking at spreadsheets. It's nonsense. So yeah, I guess we're gonna postpone talking about WrestleMania because there's other things that I want to get out there and talk about here. We're gonna jump into some. We'll skip that. We'll go back to some wrestling talk later. Right now, we do need to talk anime. We gotta talk some anime talk. There's going to be a Scott Pilgrim anime. Lord Crashton wants me to dance button. It's the last day for this song here, last stream for this song, so here we go. But yeah, there's going to be a Scott Pilgrim anime. It's coming to Netflix. It is the original cast from the movie is doing voices, and that's very fun. They got everybody. You would imagine they could get most people, but they got everybody, and that rules. And Edgar Wright is involved, and Brian is involved, the creator of Scott Pilgrim. And in a reply to someone's tweet asking about Anamanaguchi, it is all but confirmed that Anamanaguchi will also be involved. Pete from Anamanaguchi, not all of Anamanaguchi, Pete from Anamanaguchi did the soundtrack for the video game. And so supposedly, fans of Anamanaguchi will be pleased with the music, which is good to hear. All right. Not a lot of instructions on this fucking thing here. I want a little bit more detail on this. But whatever, we're getting it done. Science Saru is making it, because that's the thing. I saw some people who didn't like. They're like, "What? Why are they calling it an anime? Don't call it an anime. Scott Pilgrim can't be an anime." Which is like, one, anime is just a Japanese word for animation. So every piece of animation that has ever existed is anime. Every anime is every cartoon is anime, because animation it's just animation. So one, fuck off. But two, if you mean anime in the fact that you're talking about specifically about productions made by Japanese studios, it also is an anime by that definition. By the other definition that people cling to when they want to be contrarian and be like, well, you can't have a Scott Pilgrim anime. It's being made by Science Saru. You may know Science Saru as one of my favorite anime of the last 3-5 years. Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin. You also remember the anime of Devilman Crybaby. Two very different kinds of anime that both look fantastic. So yes, the studio that brought you the anime about how anime rules, and a modern reimagining of a manga and anime classic that was very fucking successful and really solid. They have teamed up, or they're working, and they're going to do a Scott Pilgrim anime coming to Netflix. And that's a weird sentence that I've just said out loud. It's a weird thing that is a weird true thing. But yeah, that's cool. I like the idea that is a thing that's going to happen. Speaking of anime, what am I going to be watching? New anime starts. Technically, new anime starts like tomorrow. on Saturday, I will talk about, hopefully, Loving Yamada at level 999. Now, that's not the official translation for the name of it because it, as of today, at the time of this recording, it has not been announced for any service. It's not announced for anything. We do not know who is getting that show. But once they do, I'll find out on Saturday where it is, and then I will hopefully be able to watch it and give you my report on the first episode of Loving Yamada, which I have chosen to be one of the romantic comedies that I'm going to be watching because I love the idea of I met this guy, I met a very good gamer and have a crush on him, but he is but we don't get a chance to talk too much because he is too obsessed with video games. As the theme for romantic comedy. I find that to be interesting. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. And then for Monday, I will be reporting on The Aristocrats' Otherworldly Adventure, Serving Gods Who Go Too Far, which is a manga I have enjoyed. It is a harem manga. Overpowered main character, but it is a pretty solid one of those. It is an easy watch or easy read, so I imagine it'll be an easy watch. And I will be talking about My Clueless First Friend. My Clueless First Friend is another anime that I will be checking out. I'm looking forward to watching that. That is about a miserable girl that is unliked in her school until a exchange student or new kid in class who does not know all of the baggage about her or the supposed baggage about her just decides, hey, we're going to be friends. You seem cool. And how her life changes by that, this circumstance. And that seems cute as hell. I will be watching Kuma 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 Bear Punch, and which is season 2 of Kuma 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 Bear, and season 2 of In Another World with my smartphone, because you know that I watch isekais. But I will not be covering those on a weekly basis because I don't think I'm going to start. I think now I'm just not going to be doing season 2s of shows because they are kind of, they just go through the motions. And if you didn't watch season 1, you're hearing me talk about it. I don't think it clicks as well. So I won't be covering those, but just so you know, I'll be watching them. There is one isekai, I can't remember the name of, but it's the serving God in a godless world. I don't like that manga. I'm not going to be watching the anime of that. And then on Tuesday, we got Skip and Loafer about a overachiever from the countryside who moves to the big city and is overwhelmed and becomes friends with a laid-back person in her class who is just kind of going through the motions and very chill, and it is their unlikely friendship, and I do not know if there is also relationship stuff going on there, but I do know there is at least friendship, and it does seem cute and fun, so I am interested in checking that out. All right, these legs do not love to stay on that well here, which is frustrating. I have heard some not horror stories, but warning that these legs are a little wonky. And that if I wanted to pose this, I would probably need to use a stand, which I don't have handy. But we can at least get body complete with this kit. We still have to put on the backpack, and we have to build the weapon. We have to build the backpack and the weapon, but we can at least body complete our kit, and we're done. Here's Choo Choo's Demi trainer. Everything but the backpack and the weapon is done, and it looks pretty all right, I would say. Let's get the backpack put together here as I chat with all of you about. I don't know. So that's my current watch schedule here. The stuff that's coming up. That I'll be talking about later. I'm gonna retweet my tweet. Let's see if we can get a few more friends to come hang out with us tonight. It's a little laid back this evening. And okay, yeah. So as said on on something on ESPN today, We do not know the official running order of WrestleMania. They don't always say that. But we do know what's on night 1 and what's on night 2. I'll be missing some of night 1 because I do not want to watch. I do not want to postpone or my stream or do it early or anything like that for WrestleMania. I did that for the Royal Rumble. I don't want to do that again so soon. So I don't know exactly what I'll miss from this card. We don't know what the main event is going to be. We've been told, they did announce that the opening match will be Austin Theory versus John Cena for Austin Theory's United States Championship. That is going to be the opening of the night. Also on night 1, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. The undisputed the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions Championship. Usos defending against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. So we know those two. We know those are going to happen on night 1. Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus versus Damage Control, which is Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. And Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus Viking Raiders. The winner earning a title shot, a future title shot. And if we can speculate about who we think is going to be, who's going to advance, or whatever, who's going to be the main event, my feeling is that should be the tag champs. It should be the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions. That is what we should see in the main event. It does not necessarily make sense to me to do anything but that. I could see them doing Charlotte versus Rhea and trying to make that a big deal. I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case. You could make an argument that it would be that Seth Rollins and Logan Paul would make sense as the main event. You could certainly make that argument. I don't necessarily agree with that argument, but a case could be made that would be a big deal and that should be the main event. I don't think the build has been strong enough to support Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio, but the Hall of Fame could push that over the edge if shenanigans happen, because Rey is going to go into the Hall of Fame, so that could push things over if suddenly, storyline wise. But I don't necessarily think that's going to happen. It won't be the 4-way tag fight. There's just no way. That's nothing. And yeah, we already know that John Cena and Austin Theory are opening the show, unless they change that. But I don't know why you announce that and then be like, oh, now it's the main event. That's weird, but stranger things have happened. We know the main event of night 2 will be Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. That's the main event, obviously. Raw Women's Championship, Bianca Belair versus Asuka. That could open the night. I could see that opening the night. That's a big match. Will Lasbrook again. Vince McMahon never went away. He just stopped going to the office for a while. Is he in charge of creative? To be seen, to be determined. But did he ever actually leave? No, he didn't go to the office. He didn't go on the road. But he still owned the company. The buck still stopped with him. So you can't be, because people came back that Vince doesn't like is the argument I always put out. While he was not there, they brought people back that he apparently does not enjoy. And those people are still doing things. So I don't know what to tell you. But the idea that they would change the opening match to the main event, I don't know. Anyway, to go through more of these, Bianca Belair versus Asuka, who could open. Also, Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. The winner being the Intercontinental Champion. Gunther is currently the champion. That could also open, because that's going to be a fucking brawl. Hell in a Cell, Edge versus Finn Balor. Probably not the opening. They probably don't open with Hell in a Cell. Brock Lesnar versus Omos. I don't think that's going to... I think that's going to be early in the card so that Brock Lesnar can leave. It doesn't have to be hanging out the whole time. Also, someone renewed their subscription at some point, but didn't pop the notification. So thank you for renewing your subscription. Well, I appreciate you very much. I don't know who did that, but thank you. Because we're yeah, that's very kind of you. Again, I don't know who dinged, but appreciate it. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Natalia and Shotzi versus Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. Winner gets a title shot. That's not main eventing. Don't know how to pop the notification. Don't care to learn. Well, thank you. It might pop up anyway at some point. Might hit a thing where you can just hit the share button or whatever. But thank you very much, Regizzle, for hitting that notification, for renewing. Appreciate it. Thank you. Very kind. All right. All we have left for this kit is to build the gun. Gotta build that gun. Got a big old gun to put together. And so we'll do that. And then we will wrap up this kit. So let's get that going here. I think this is all in the D category here, yeah. Okay. So I'll quickly run down the card. My predictions. Night 1, I believe Austin Theory will retain. I don't think it makes any sense at all to have Austin Theory lose. I don't think John Cena should have a belt. He is a part-timer. I do not think that he should be a champion, even if he immediately lost it on Monday. What's the fucking point? Yes, it starts the show off, but, like, come on. Hey, Dirty, welcome. Do the job, John Cena. You got to do that job. Let's see. I think Rhea Ripley is going to win. I think Rhea Ripley is going to win. I think every member of Judgment Day wins this weekend. That is in a match wins. Hey, you subscribed with Prime for 3 months. Thank you so much. Now we can officially thank you by throwing in the Bear Cave Lego to the site the most. Thank you very much. You figured it out. Appreciate you. Thank you for using your Prime Gaming token. Appreciate that very much. Yeah, we can throw a Bear Cave Lego site the most. In the chat. So I think Rhea Ripley's going to win. I think Rhea Ripley's going to get cheered no matter what, and Charlotte is a better heel than a face. So I don't think Rhea turns face, but I think Charlotte turns heel after this, and I think they're better off for it. The tag champions, this one, I don't fucking know. Like, part of me thinks, you know what? Hey, yeah. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Let's fucking make them tag champions. Let's have them have a tag run for a while. That's fun. I think that's neat. That's cool. And then oh wow, the other belts dropped. Is Roman going to be able to keep his belts? Now, you could say, oh, because of cheating, because of Solo Sikoa or something like that, that they don't retain. That they do retain. The Usos win. And then it could be like, oh, wow, we thought the bloodline was doomed, but they're not. I don't know. I think Trish Stratus is going to turn heel on Becky Lynch and Lita. And then Damage Control is going to win. Damage Control, but I say Control because it's funny. Damage Control wins, is my assumption, by Trish Stratus turning heel on Becky and Lita. And I might imagine that Becky and Lita also are going to lose those tag belts on Monday or Friday. Seth Rollins and so I'm of two minds for this. It doesn't hurt Seth Rollins to lose to Logan Paul. It doesn't hurt Logan Paul to lose to Seth Rollins. It does give Seth Rollins and WWE, in my opinion, more press if Seth Rollins wins. I don't know who wins this one, is what I'm saying. I have no idea. Because I can't read it. Because it's like, Seth doesn't need this. But also, like, Seth shouldn't fucking lose this either. But he doesn't need it, but he shouldn't lose it. And I don't know. I really don't know. Could go either way, in my opinion. Let's see what else got here. I think Dominic Mysterio beats Rey Mysterio. I do not think that Rey Mysterio should win a wrestling match against his son. Yes, he is going into the Hall of Fame, but I don't think that he should win this. I think he should lose. That's just my opinion on that. And then Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus Street Profits. There's Alpha Academy versus Viking Raiders. I think the Viking Raiders experiment is over. Alpha Academy are technically heels right now, even though Otis is basically a tweener. I think Alpha Academy wins this, and then them losing the title opportunity to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn cements their breakup as a tag team. That is me doing some thoughts on that one. That is what eventually leads them to end things. Again, I don't fucking know on that one. I could also see Braun Strowman and Ricochet winning because they seem to be putting effort into that tag team. And also, they could turn heel. They could go up against the Usos, or they could also turn heel. I also could see them completely turning heel and it not being a problem. Heel Ricochet is not. Yeah, heel Ricochet just has to be as cocky as he is, and people will boo him. All he has to do is go, "Shut up," and people will be like, "Boo." And people are always willing to boo Braun Strowman. So maybe they'll win it. Night 2, main event, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. I cannot imagine a world where Roman Reigns beats Cody Rhodes. The story they are telling is the story of Cody Rhodes doing it for his dad, winning the belt his dad never could, defeating Roman Reigns. There still exists the possibility that fucking Roman Reigns will win, though. It's still the possibility is still there, and that is very funny to me. That the possibility that all of this and then he retains. He's going to finish the fight. Yes, Lashbrook. He's finishing the story. He's going to do what his dad could not do, and win, and win the big one. And that's powerful and cool. And there's still a slight possibility it won't happen, and that's sad to think about. But it's definitely possible that they will just be like, "Oh yeah, no, we decided to go a different way, Cody. Maybe you'll win at SummerSlam," and then he doesn't fucking win at SummerSlam. But yeah, there still exists a possibility they might just be like, "Actually, on second thought, no." And then the rest of the card there for night 2. I want Asuka to win and Bianca to turn heel because I think that's the most interesting outcome. Is 1, you get Asuka a win at WrestleMania and the belt. Asuka should always be winning things. And 2, you get heel Bianca. And heel Bianca fucking rules because she's just great. She's a great natural heel. Maybe the Street Profits win or the Street Profits losing also turns them heel. I don't know. But I think you can do that and it will be great. I do not know. So Sheamus has never won the Intercontinental title. It's the only belt he's never won in WWE. He has won every other belt. So it would be nice for him to have a big WrestleMania win. I think that's cool. But on the other hand, Gunther rules. I think Gunther fucking kicks ass. And I like him having a long title reign. I think that's great. But then you could have Gunther trying to get that win back. Trying to get the belt back. And that could be good. I don't know. I read a wild theory that I think is a terrible one, but I liked, which is that Butch, aka Pete Dunne, is going to turn heel on Sheamus and help Gunther, and then Pete Dunne, the best wrestler in the Brawling Brutes, the best actual technical wrestler, is going to join Imperium as Peter Dunne or Peter Dunne. That is a wild fan theory that I read that I was like, oh no, I really like that theory because it does give me Peter Dunne again, and that's awesome. Dirty wants me to hit the dance button. I will. Here's the dance button. Last night of this, or for this month, because in April we'll have a new song. Here we go. Yeah. 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 Barrel. 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 Yeah. I got some new music. I found music for next month. I had to restock the music thing, and I've gotten some excellent choices. I love that this gun sits on the front of a kit. That's weird in a way that I love so much. I love that the resting pose for this gun is like attached to the front of the kit. It's so unique and weird. I'm such a big fan of that. This is such a strange choice. It's like, yeah, the resting position of this gun is just like, I don't know, in there. It just hangs out. It's like, what? Why? Why? Why does it do that? Nonsense. But I love that. Because we're done with this kit now. I think Finn Balor's winning the Hell in Cell. He should. I don't think Edge should be winning at WrestleMania at this point. I just don't think that should happen. That's my opinion on that. Do I want Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler to win that and get a title shot coming up? Fuck no, I don't want that. I 100% do not want Ronda to win or to get a chance at getting the tag belts. I think that's awful booking. That's going to happen though, because the other teams aren't real fucking tag teams. They're just throwing together bullshit. Liv Morgan and Raquel have won a couple times. They don't make any sense. I mean, they're little and big, and that's a fun combo. Natalya and Shotzi, no, nothing there. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville literally thrown together. Look, do I like that Sonya Deville is getting a fucking payday? She's getting a goddamn WrestleMania payday? Hell yeah, I like that. I love that. That's good to me. That she's going to get that payday. That could be on that WrestleMania card. Make that money. Hell yeah. Get it. But overall, not pleased with the very idea of Ronda. But I can't imagine anyone else, any other team winning that one. Omos versus Brock Lesnar. How the fuck do I... How am I supposed to pick? What am I supposed to do with that? Like, what am I supposed to do with that? I don't fucking know. Brock is probably done for a while, so I guess Omos wins. Because Omos definitely needs a win more than Brock needs to beat Omos. But, like... I don't know. This whole match doesn't make any sense to me. It shouldn't be on this card. Is a weird choice. I don't know. I feel conflicted about it. All right, we're gonna take a pause for the calls. We'll talk about ways you can support the channel, and then when that's done, we will start our next kit, which is this Rick Diaz, this beautiful red Rick Diaz. And I should point out here, friends. This is the rarest of rare kits. A lot of polycaps. This is a premium Bandai kit with 0 stickers. There are 0 color correcting stickers. It does not need any color correcting stickers. It's all colored on the actual sprues, and that is fucking wild. That is so unusual and so weird. And very cool that, yeah, it requires 0 stickers. I was like, wait, where are the stickers? What's going on here? And it was like, oh, there aren't any. So there will still be panel lining, of course. But I don't have to do anything else to it. I just have to assemble it. And of course, it does have lots and lots of polycaps. It's got a lot of polycaps. 1995 polycaps. This kit was released in the year 2020. Did you see the picture of the color separation on Exodia's head? I did see that last week, yeah. I'm not paying too much attention to Exodia because I'm never going to have that kit. So I'm not paying a lot of attention to it, but I did see that. Let's see. Let me see if this is going to tell me when these parts got printed. So some of this kit is from the year 2000. I don't know how much of this kit is from the year 2000. So some of this is a very old kit. Okay. And then some of these parts are from 2019, which makes sense because they came out in 2020. So some of these parts are 2000 versions of the Rictius. And then some parts are the modern modern parts to make it specific to this version. I'm trying to look just real quick here if I can. This doesn't even tell me anything. I don't even get a year on these parts. Oh, here we go. Do I get a year on this parts here? 2019. Okay. So yeah, some of these parts are 2019. Some of these parts are the year 2000. Big gap between the two. We're not going to take a full pause for the cause. We're going to take a very truncated pause for the cause, which is why I didn't stop 10 minutes ago. If you are currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the moat into chat. The tier 2 blue emote if you are a Arista fan. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support me. If you're not following me, hit the follow button. If you'd like to subscribe, please do. You could use your Prime Gaming token like Rajizzle did, or you could do cash money. You could gift a sub if you wanted to gift a sub. Hey, Ghost Val. You could gift a sub like John and Arista fan and Harold and Silver Streak. That would be rad. Or bits and coins, always appreciated, like Harold and Lord Crashington and Ironhide the Fourth, who came in just as we were raiding on Tuesday, which was fun. But yeah, that's the easiest way to support me. Patreon, Twitch, all that. You can find the links in my show description on the YouTube video of this about how to follow me there. Hey, here's some video links I would like you to check out because we'll get to building in a second. One video link, Pat Bear's Anime Club. It was recorded live in front of y'all, some of y'all, talking about the winter season, which is just wrapping up, and the spring season, which is just about to start. So if you want a preview of new stuff, or you want to look at some stuff that just happened or is just wrapping up now, check out that video. Baerly Rehearsed. So Baerly Rehearsed is a series where every week I do a new character piece that I have rehearsed for some part of. I have done some amount of rehearsal to try to make better, or myself, and do a good job that people will enjoy. What I should say is, oh yeah, sorry, one quick second here. Sorry. This one is the clean slate. So this Baerly Rehearsed that I just linked there is me going through a list of character ideas or just like premises. Like, is my dog in there? Just like sentences, like questions or whatever that were stuck in my head that I'm not going to do a character based on. While I was putting this list together and organizing my thoughts, I did find one thing that I'm going to do next week. But most of this stuff, I'm just like, nope, you know what? I'm never going to do this thing about finding out too late that you're in a cult. Like, I'm just never going to write that. I'm not going to do a cooking show where all the recipes are made in AI. I'm like, I'm never going to write that character piece. Like, these are just ideas that are like fine. Like a guy who's mad that his house isn't haunted. I'm like, I might do that someday, but like I come up with that idea 3 or 4 times a year, and I just did a ghost bit, so it's like, I probably won't do that. So instead, I just decided that like we're in a clean slate. So it's just a fun list sketch. It's just list, and in the comments of that YouTube video, if you hear something and you're like, Pat, you should try to work on that, you can make suggestions, and maybe I'll take those suggestions. I don't know. I don't know if I will, but I could. So So there's that. Watch that. I do want to just say I recently updated my wish list, my Amazon wish list. So consider taking a look at that. I will plug that, and then we'll get back to model kit building, start a new kit. But yeah, my Amazon wish list recently got updated, so take a look at that. I put in some new cheap Lego. It's nice to have cheap options. So I put in a couple of things that are inexpensive. I got 3 new kits in there that are expensive, and then more expensive stuff, and various model kits that you could purchase, and it would jump the queue. The Rick Diaz is from my backlog. My backlog right now is a little fucking low. It's getting a little low. So if there's anything on this wish list that you see that you're like, I would love to see Pat build that, consider picking it up so that I could build it. I mean, I will continue to buy model kits, but like I said, shit's not dire, but it is getting low. So, and again, you jump the queue, you become the next thing I build, all that. I am going to talk about some anime, a series that just wrapped up, and I said the word series, and a certain phone thought I was talking to it. But we'll get into that in a second. I'm going to drink some water, and then we'll talk about some anime, and I will start a new model kit. And of course, we will dramatically transition to that right now. I realized I should update. You're gonna see a little bit of my keyboard, my cheap ass keyboard, because I got to update that we're not working on this anymore. We're working on a new kit here. Take the box here. Here's the box. We're working on Quattro. Vaginas. Rick Diaz. That's the kit we're working on. This was, as you can see by the box being red, this is a premium Bandai kit. It is, again, from the Universal Century. It is a special version of the Rick Diaz, so it's a different color scheme. It's the first time we've done a Rick on stream. I have built these in the past for myself, but never on stream. So that's new to me. This was fairly inexpensive of a pre-order. It came this month. It looked neat when it was up for pre-order, and I was like, I would like to build that. So here we go. Now I'm working on it. Now that's the new thing. Let's see. Let's talk about some anime. We're gonna close out Campfire Cooking in Another World with My Absurd Skill. This is a very simple, laid-back series overall. Really enjoyed it. I would say if you are looking for a low-stakes anime of just like pretty chill times, a simple like slice of life. There's some action, but you're never really worried about anybody. About a dude that accidentally got summoned to another world and then has a pretty fucking easy ass time of it. This is a good series, and I would suggest it. So basically, they defeated a bunch of wyverns, but can't sell it because it's just like the guy is like, I don't have money and I don't know how to dissect these things. What are you doing here? There are 4 goddesses that all want stuff, and just like I can't help you. I don't know what to tell you. But he gives offerings to all the goddesses to make them happy. He buys a bathtub, and that's the thing he's wanted the most. He's got all this money. Why not get a goddamn bathtub? So he gets a bathtub. And he heats it up, and he and Sue enjoy that bathtub. Sue, our slime friend, best new character of the season. It's a tie between Sue and Carol of the best new characters. Sue loves it, and they bathe and they really enjoy it. Um, they make some food with the wyvern meat. Fell shows up and is just like, hey, dragons are tasty. I went and defeated a dragon. Here's an earth dragon, which is fucking huge. And also, uh, it's definitely, he's like, I don't have room for that. I don't have room for a dragon. Nobody's going to want to buy a dragon. What are you doing? And then he's like, fine, you know what? Before you eat, you got to take a bath. Turns out, Fell is not pleased about getting a bath. And also, he's just like, I'm not a dog. Don't use dog shampoo on me. But he does use dog shampoo on him because he needs to clean up this dog, this magical Fenrir. But he does get really clean, and he's just like, yeah, all right, that felt pretty good. Okay, I'll allow that. And then Monica's like, all right, great. So once a month, I'm gonna bathe you. And our boy Fell does not enjoy that. But Sue says that the best Uncle Fell is the shiny Uncle Fell. So Uncle Fell, he's got a soft spot. He's got a soft spot for the little slime friend. So he's like, all right, sure. Okay. You know what? Okay. Which is cute. It is cute how they get along. I like that very much. His item box, yeah, no one's going to buy them. Let's see. The Earth Dragon is so valuable that the merchant that he works with is just like, I cannot buy this. I have no idea what to do with this shit. What is your fucking deal, my dude? So like, fine. He's like, all right, you know what you need to go to is you got to visit Dolan City because the guildmaster there is a dragon expert. And then you could also go to the ocean because apparently Fell has it in his head that eventually they're going to go and defeat a kraken, and they're going to when they get that kraken, they're going to have great seafood. So they're very excited about that. I should mention here, as someone who's been reading the manga, they have not fought a kraken yet. There is a whole character that was not in this season of the anime. A wonderful new friend in the family, and they haven't even met that yet in the anime, and they've known him for a while in the manga and have not found that. So they're going off. People, like, hey, he made some friends there. He had some good times. He's going off with his friend the slime, and their lovely Fenrir. And they're off to go get some seafood and have some more adventures. I would love a second season of Campfire Cooking with my absurd skill. Campfire Cooking in Another World with my absurd skill. I think this show certainly could handle a second season because it is a good time. And I would love to see further adventures of this gang. I'm going to keep reading the manga because I enjoy the manga. But hell, I would love to have more anime. I think overall it is a fun series, and I'm glad that it got an adaptation, although I don't know if it would get a second one. Oh, this kid's a little hollow. We'll wait, and we'll put all the chests together here, and then we'll panel line it. It's going to require 2 different markers, which is fine. The black marker and the... But yeah, we're going to need a black marker here, and we're going to need a... brown marker for the red. This does not seem right. So I'm going to pop this off here because I've got the time to pop this off because this does not seem great here. There's like a weird gap. So I'm going to try to pop this apart. Yeah, this seems all kinds of off. So I'm going to try to disassemble this here. While I talk to you about Kubo won't let me be invisible. So this series, I didn't watch it when it first aired because it's from this season. But then I started kind of getting caught up. Now, this show is restarting in April. So it'll be restarting next month because they had to stop due to COVID issues. So it'll take a while because they got 6 episodes out before it stopped. So about half of the show. So all those 6 episodes will re-air because it'll be on Japanese television. That's what they do. They re-air when a show gets delayed. They just start with the new episodes, and then once the old episodes, and once the new episodes start, then it will get more time on TV, and then it'll also eventually end up getting subtitled or dubbed and showing up on streaming services. Okay, so this has got to go in like this. There's now no wiggle room here. And then I'm going to dab a little bit, just a little bit of liquid cement here. Because I did a little damage to this kit. I forgot this was getting an anime. The manga just finished up. It's pretty cute. Yeah, so this anime did come out this season about a boy that's very good at being invisible, and the girl that can see him and can interact with him, and then kind of fucking pretty much finds it very funny that other people can't see him, and and like seems to enjoy it, and how he's not fully convinced at first that she's not just there to bully him. But then becomes kind of aware that, oh no, this is my friend, and oh, this is kind of nice. Like, I don't really need to be invisible as long as I've got somebody who can see me, and that's kind of neat. Like, his family can see him. So only 6 episodes aired. I watched 2 episodes of this. Shirashi is a teenager, and they're like, he's got a low spiritual presence. Like, people just like he has to like be comical about it. He has to like fall in front of people and knock things over for them to finally realize that he's there. But yeah, Kubo is a girl that's just like, oh, it's so weird. Like, she sat in his lap and nobody noticed. Like, it's just like a weird trait. Like his ability to be to not be noticed is just so funny to her. She finds it very humorous that he can just like blend in. So yeah, I watched 2 of these episodes. He couldn't really tell at first, like, what's her fucking deal? Why is she like, is she bothering me? Does she like me? What's going on? At one point, Kubo tries to get his phone number, but her friends show up and don't realize that that they're interrupting something because they can't recognize him as being there, which I thought was funny. Okay, so why can't I get this to connect? Okay, so it goes like that then. Sorry, everybody. Parts of this kit are from the year 2000, so they are not they don't make the most sense and are not the easiest to understand. And some of this kit is from 2019, but still the parts are from 2000. So this is definitely an old kit in many ways. So I'm just trying to figure out what I need to do and do it and not make any more mistakes because I already made a small mistake that I had to fix. Okay, so then it's going to go like this. So this goes in this way here. There's a right way for this piece to go in, and it'll really waste my time if I do it the wrong way. So I'm trying to do it the right way. Okay, so this is the piece that goes like this. All right, so this is the point of failure here, is these parts falling out as I go to attach this part here. So I'm going to attempt to do it nice and slow. All right, other things about this these 2 episodes. They try to take a selfie and the camera can't find him because these are like early things of like, ha ha ha. So like, no, that's just not going to work. Let's see. But also, like, he's not used to people texting, but he's like pretty happy about it. And like his sister immediately is just like, hey, you're happy about something. What's going on? Like, she instantly can pick it up because she can see him. She understands what's going on. She at least understands like him and acknowledges him as a person, luckily. Because that would be really sad if even his family didn't like see him. That would be rough. That'd be a rough time if his family like ignored him. So I like that. I think that's a good touch that like at least the immediate family can be like, no, 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 we know what's going on with you. Let's see. Their homes are right next to each other. So they decide they're going to start walking to school together, which is fun. That's a new thing for our guy. Basically, a lot of this seems to be new experiences with our boy. Let's see. Alice, or Akina, I should say, sister is just like, oh, do you like somebody? What's going on? You got a crush? That's to Kubo because she's wearing perfume. It's like, no, that's part of the game, I think. Let's see. He gets splashed with a puddle because the car does not notice him. And then he gets invited to Kubo's house. And then borrows her clothes, and that's weird. And it's that thing where it's just like, actually, it's totally fine for him to borrow her clothes because nobody's going to see it because he's invisible. And it is like one of those like, oh yeah, this is like the one. If any benefits come from no one being able to notice you, it is that you can just like have an embarrassing moment and know that no one's going to know that that happened. So it's like one of, if the only, positives. I shouldn't put these in because I want to panel on these. I'm going to panel on these things because they're cool shoulders. So will I watch more of Kubo? I think I will probably get caught up on my own time. I probably won't talk about like episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6. I don't even know if I'll get that far. I have seen clips of the younger brother, Shirashi's younger brother, who really likes him and really looks up to him. And that the clips I saw of that were very cute, and I was like, well, that's very cute. So maybe I'll watch more of this so I get that part. That's got to be episodes 3 or 4. Who knows? But I am thinking that I will keep watching because it is pretty fun of a series. I did enjoy the 2 episodes that I did watch. I get why I ended up not picking it up because it's tough to have like a high school romantic comedy stick with me right now after Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie was so fucking good, like unbelievably good, like unquestionably incredibly good. It's hard for me to like go back to just like the like slow story about 2 people maybe getting into a relationship if you're lucky. I'm like, man, I don't know about that. Which is why I really enjoyed the Ice Guy and his cool female colleague, because that was like very easy to get behind because it was like adults, and that's, you don't see a lot of that, so I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to keep doing that, but I might. I talked about the shows that I'll be watching coming next season. Of course, I have one show left, which is Buddy Daddies. Still have to finish off Buddy Daddies. I'll talk about that on Monday. And also on Saturday, I'll be finishing up Chilling in My 30s after getting fired from the Demon King's army. I'll be talking about the last episode of that, which is already aired. I just haven't gotten to watch it yet. I'll watch that tomorrow. Now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? Or is there anything going on with you that you're like, oh, Pat, I've been reading this thing. I want to tell you about it. Rigizo says, just finished Endo and Kobayashi. That show goes places. Yeah. It doesn't fucking go anywhere for so many goddamn episodes. It just lives in its, like, character studies, which is rad. And then all of a sudden it starts picking up the pace. Like it thought it was going to have 13 episodes and suddenly realized it only had 12. I liked it a lot. But yeah, like the late season there's a twist that is like, this is interesting. Oh wait, we can't really deal with this twist because there's another bigger fucking twist that we have to deal with. And then also there's like a character payoff that comes in that has no groundwork done for it. Like the sister, there's not enough. There's like, it's one of those things where you're just like, I mean, you could have showed me instead of just telling me about this. Did you forget you were going to get there with this? Like, what's going on? Like, you had the benefit of knowing the source material, but I liked it overall. But yeah, I want to hear from you folks. What are you watching? What are you playing? You watching any TV? You watching any anime? You reading any manga? You playing any video games? Tuesday stream. We ran some CPU versus CPU matches in WWE 2K23. It's my first time having 23 out there. It's a good ass game. It plays well enough. I'm still tweaking the CPU like AI. I still have to find good settings because they act fine. Like, it's fine enough to go with, but I would like to tweak it. A lot of the user created stuff is very good immediately. Some top tier nonsense. War games, I don't think I'm gonna run again. It worked, but it was like 19 minutes for that match, and that's just a little too long for my liking. But I'm glad that we ran one of them. Got new tag champs, got some defenses, had some silly stuff. I still don't know what jailed cat is, but somebody made a cat that's in jail and a spooky ghost. That spooky ghost is fucking fantastic. God, that spooky ghost is good. So yeah, overall, I was pleased. We had a good turnout. It was fun. Shout outs to Remy for making it possible for me to have that game and show it off. Very kind. But yeah, it was a good time. I don't know how these parts go in. Oh, they go in like this. Oh, they go in like this. I got this now. Okay. Lord Crashton says, I got MLB The Show 23. It is a great mode about the history of the Negro Leagues that is a really cool documentary feature with some players people might not know about. Hey, Lord Crashington, that ironically fucking rules. That's awesome. I had not heard about that. I'm certainly not interested in a baseball game, but I am interested in hearing more about that. So hopefully some people I know who are really into baseball will talk about it, because that's awesome. That sounds fucking great. That is a pleasantly cool thing to hear about. Okay, PCI coming in. Dirty says, I recently turned a year older. Happy birthday to you, Dirty. And realized I was more excited about the new mattress and vacuum than the new electronics. I'm getting old. Hey, a new mattress is a birthday present to yourself for a number of years. And a new vacuum is a birthday present to yourself for a number of years. A video game is days, weeks, or months of entertainment. So, or electronics or whatever. But like, when you get a new vacuum and you start vacuuming up stuff and you're like, wait, did I live with all this dirt? Why is this thing suddenly so much better than the thing that I had before? It's like shocking. Or when you have like those new early night sleeps on a great mattress and you're just like, oh, this fucking just rules. Like those are A+ things. My family just came back from the new D&D movie. It was fun. It was a fun time. My kids, who played a lot of D&D, really enjoyed it. Hell yeah. I've heard very good things about the D&D movie. I'm glad you had a good time. I'll watch it when it's on a streaming service. Or maybe a rental at some point. But I don't plan to go to the theaters for it, but I'm glad you're going. Dirty says, I'm going to watch that tomorrow for breakfast at the dine-in theater. Hell yeah. First off, I don't really leave the house much these days anyway, but I'm on like self-imposed lockdown to just watch wrestling. Like all I'm gonna fucking do is watch wrestling. Like, no, I'm not doing other things if it doesn't involve wrestling this weekend. So I have a wrestling that I'm watching tonight. So I'll be watching. I can go through this here because I have the list here. Where's my list of wrestling? I wrote it down. Tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern, I'll be watching DDT. On Friday, I'll be watching in the afternoon. That's tomorrow. Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. Their LA show. And then tomorrow night will be GCW versus DDT. I don't plan to watch live. I might end up watching it live, but I'm not planning right now to immediately watch Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. If friends have put it on, I will. I'm not paying for Supercard of Honor. I'll say that. Friday late night will be Joey Janela. So then we'll watch SmackDown and Rampage, and then Joey Janela's Spring Break 7 is at 11 p.m. Saturday at 2 p.m. is Effie's Big Gay Brunch 6. And then Sunday night or Sunday afternoon is the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame. And so I'll be putting that on. Those are all shows I'm definitely going to be watching. I don't know if I'll see all of GCW versus DDT live. I might watch some of that later. But most of those other ones I will be watching live, and I'm looking forward to that. It is a wrestling lockdown, baby. Drive me crazy. Indeed, Lord Grashington. It's a lot of wrestling. And then also WrestleMania. I'll watch most of night 1 because I'll take 2 hours out to do this stuff. And then I'll watch all of night 2. That is the plan. And there'll be some other stuff that is on Fight that I don't know about and haven't actually watched yet. That I'm not planning to watch immediately. There's a Caribbean wrestling organization that has their show on YouTube that conflicts with another thing, so I won't watch that live. I'll watch that after the fact. Yeah, I'm going to watch a ton of wrestling. It's going to be good. Bobby says, I haven't watched wrestling in months, if not years, and I'm considering watching WrestleMania. I mean, here's the thing. WWE, the thing that WWE is best at, the thing that they are better at than everyone and anyone, AEW has its moments. But the thing that WWE is best at is video packages that gets you up to speed. Yes, sometimes it's revisionist history. There'll be something they didn't include. And you'll be like, but that happened. They didn't fucking talk about that shit. Or, that's how they're rewriting it. But it doesn't matter because it tells you what's going on in the show and gets you ready to watch the show. So you can, get involved and understand, the characters and the storyline going in. WWE is incredible at that. So, you'll still, if you watch WrestleMania, you'll be like, I don't know what's going on with these characters, but sure. I haven't been following Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. They're tagging now? I thought Kevin was mad at Sami. And it's how did we get here? And they'll fucking tell you, and you'll understand. You'll be like, oh, cool. You'll be like, I don't know what the fuck Judgment Day is. Why is Edge so mad at them? And they'll tell you. What? Rey Mysterio is wrestling his son? How the fuck did that happen? You get many chances to figure out what's going on with each match. Indeed, yes. You'd be like, wait, why is Rey mad at his son? Why is his son such a dick? I'll find out. They'll tell me. He pushed his son to the ground. He punched his son, and his son fell over. And then everyone was happy about it, including Rey Mysterio's wife and daughter, who were psyched that Rey Mysterio hit his son. What? What's going on? You'll get some information on that. Did I miss anything? Oh, I did miss this from Lashbrook. I've been watching Amazon Riders, the Amazon Prime exclusive, reboot of Kamen Rider. Amazon. It's kind of rendered unintentionally funny to watch people yell Amazon to transform via Amazon Prime. That does sound funny that they're yelling Amazon and it's an Amazon Prime. Yeah, that's weird. I read a little bit about that, and I thought that did sound very strange. That that was it is an odd thing, just in general. I don't know. I don't have a hot take on Amazon on this Amazon show, a Kamen Rider show that is an Amazon exclusive, and they say the name Amazon. It's weird. I guess that's my big important commentary. My big hot take is yeah, you know what? That is weird and kind of cool. How does his head go together? I guess it goes together like this, but that doesn't seem right. All right, so I know this works. And then this goes like that. And I got to clip this because I fucked this up. All right, and the head rests like that, but you don't see the gun. Look, this is the head. And then this pops up, and then there's a gun. You can see that. There's There's a tiny weapon in the head. That's A+. That's an A+ decision, to put a tiny gun in the head. I just think that's very cool and fun. You're like, oh, no. The helmet pops off, and then there's a gun. It's a good time. Anyway, yeah, there's wrestling tonight. And there's wrestling tomorrow. And there's wrestling on Saturday. And there's wrestling on Sunday. Also, I think I'm going to watch GCW versus DDT. Instead of after Rampage, instead of watching the Hall of Fame, which is directly after. I don't have NXT written down here. I'd rather watch Effie's Big Gay Brunch on Saturday than the NXT show. Because there's going to be a lot of good people. And also, I love that they just get to do that. I love that happens. And that show continues to exist. And that it's the 6th one of them. That just fucking rules. Good on you, Effie. But yeah, there's a ton of shows. I'm going to watch a lot of them. And then I will be sick of wrestling. Also, I have to remind myself at some point to cancel my Fight Plus. Because I'm doing a 7-day trial. But I don't want to cancel it too soon in case there's any stuff that we want to watch later on the replay, my friends and I. So I got to make sure that I don't cancel it too early for replay value, but also do cancel it because I don't want to pay for it for monthly. Because there's not if I liked GCW's normal output, then maybe I would, because you get so much out of that, it could be worth it, but because I don't watch a lot of that, it's not particularly worth it to me. For other people, I totally understand why it is worth it to them, and they are interested in that, but that is not the case for your friend Pat. Your friend Pat just knows that that's just a subscription I won't use enough to justify it. Because I already subscribe. Don't forget to watch Rampage in there. Yes, Lashbrook. Friday is probably not watching As It Happens or at all the Ring of Honor show, but it is watching the SmackDown before WrestleMania and then Rampage. But yeah, I think I'm going to watch instead of that, because I can always watch the 0 hour matches on YouTube, so I'll probably watch that. This does not want to stay. I'm going to use, oddly enough, more liquid cement, because this does not seem to want to stay well, and I bet it's going to fall off a lot. So we're just going to get a little liquid cement on there. I'll put it on there. But yeah, there's a lot of wrestling for me to watch this week, and I'm looking forward to that, or this weekend, because I like wrestling. All right, so we'll just put that together. And people were like, oh, you're not going to watch the New Japan versus Impact? No, that costs more money, and I don't care enough about it to watch it. I'll read about it and hear about it. But yeah, I'm not going to pay for it. We got a lot done on this already. We already got the backpack and we got the head and chest done here. This kit does not want to stay up for photos, so I'm probably going to, I'll just do like that. Yeah, haha. I'll just do like that. I'll just prop it up so I can take a photo of it. Maybe I'll do that with, no, that's not going to stay up like that. No. I'll just prop this up so I can get a good photo. Eventually, I'll put stuff. It'll be able to stand up well enough. But yeah, that's gonna do it for tonight's stream. I'm gonna wrap up a little earlier than normal because I've got some wrestling to watch tonight. No, Lord Cratchington, I'm never excited. Well, look, I'm never excited about April Fool's Day because no one's good at April Fools. Again, the only good April Fools that ever existed was ThinkGeek making fake products that they eventually would make real. That was good. And then the best actual things was Funny or Die. Funny or Die did a bit where Justin Bieber bought Funny or Die, and so they shot a bunch of new videos for him, and they also shot him doing parodies of Funny or Die videos, like he did like The Landlord, the first video, which was the little girl just saying swears at, and they redid it with him. He did his parody of his. He was in it, but someone wrote it for him. His parody of David the dentist, like the little boy who was at the dentist in the back seat of the car. They did parodies and stuff, and he renamed the website Bieber or Die, And like that's the best April Fool's joke because it's not. It's just jokes. It's not lies. Um, yeah, so I'm not excited about funny or good Twitter impersonations. I'm just not. I don't like April Fool's Day. I do like you, and I want to thank you all very much for being here. Lovely transition, Pat. You nailed it. I am excited to go and raid because we always end every stream with a raid. We're going to go find somebody cool out there to go hang out with. Somebody who's doing some cool shit that we want to go give a little love to. So we'll figure out who that's going to be. Who's streaming right now? How long has Puppet Jarrett been streaming? He has been streaming for only 33 minutes. Oh, but he's saying good night, everybody. Oh, no, that stream is over. That stream is over. They must have had technical difficulties. That stream is over. So we are not going to raid Puppet Jared. Instead, we're going to raid my buddy Wiggins, Matt Wiggins. Matt Wiggins is playing Hi-Fi Rush. We've raided him before. We're going to raid him again. Matt's great. So feel free to come along this raid. Have a great time with Matt. Please hit that button and give me that. Come back on Saturday. I'll have watched a bunch of wrestling and watched a new anime series. And it will be very fun, and you'll have a good time with that. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I got to go watch some wrestling. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.